Hey, what's up everybody? Thanks for clicking on the video. This is David Pendleton, and we are going to be talking about the Namhae Cliffs 9-hole cup final round on the rookie division. So, all in all, minus 16 on both of my accounts, and as you can see there, as I normally do, I got there in two different ways. One account I dropped some shots on, and the other one I didn't. But, I'm going to go to the replays here with you. Definitely have enough content to help you get to the top of your standings. We just got to be able to hit perfect, and we'll be good to go. All right, so if you're not a subscriber, please become one. It would mean a lot to me. If you do find the video helpful, you can hit the thumbs up button and like it. That does go a long way for me and just takes you a millisecond. And if I helped you, have a good 9-hole cup, you can also support my channel in two different ways. Way number one is there's a PayPal link always in the comment section. Or if you'd like to become a member, you can also find out how to do so in the description below. And, the membership is pretty cool because it includes, you can be added to our Facebook Messenger group chat where we have a direct, link to me and the rest of our members where we shot share. And we just have a good time overall. All right, so here we go. Hole number one. Hole number one is nice in this 9-hole tournament because they gave us easy wind to deal with on the qualifying and on the final round. Here, we're going to be getting pretty much direct crosswind with just a flicker of tailwind. So we're just going to add some spin on the ball here. As you can see, I went with like 4.5 bars of top spin, a couple side spins to the left. I didn't have to use a lot of overpower, as you can see, just barely a little bit of overpower, combined with half a ball of curl to the right. And on this account, the ball rolls smoothly, and we're good to go. Unfortunately, on my other account, I missed the chip in with my Inbringer. I cannot believe it. It's probably going to cost me a banner, but, it is what it is, right? So we go on to hole number two. Hole number two, I pick up a hole-in-one on both of my accounts, and because we're pretty much getting direct tailwind, we're going to take a very risk-free rough bump. And I say risk-free because here is how we're going to line this thing up. First of all, I want you to notice here the spin adjustment is going to be very simple to copy. 1 bar of side spin to the right with a navigator. A navigator is the only ball you need to use on this shot. And we're putting this just under 3 bars of top spin. So call that 2.8, 2.9 top, 1 bar of side spin to the right. Now, you're going to notice where I'm going to be setting up right here. And you're going to notice this on both accounts. I want you to notice my ball guide line is going through the pin. But most importantly, I want you to notice where my ball guide line is. All right, so notice how the hole is in the dark green square. If you look below that in the light green square, my ball guide line is just on the left-hand side of the edge. So almost where that dark green row is, that vertical row, I'm just to the left of that. Ball guide line in the cup. And you're going to notice here, my yellow ring is fully inside the rough with about 1/4 of my red ring in the rough and onto the fairway. So as you can see right there, okay? This is going to be a very easy shot to execute. The wind is low. This is pulled 10% at max. We catch this nice little slope, and we are dead center for a hole-in-one. So we're going to do the exact same thing on this account. So top spin, 2.9, 1 bar of side spin to the right. I find that setup spot right there with my ball guide line going through the pin, just slightly favoring the right-hand side. Doesn't have to be done, but just ever so slightly. I was just really making sure that my ball guide line was in that light green row, but way on the right-hand side of the light green row. Again, same pool, 10% at max. Perfect ball. And there's no such thing as an automatic hole-in-one, but this is about as good as it gets. And as you can see there on this one, I favored slightly the right-hand side of the pin, and that is exactly where the ball went in. So just make sure you have it dead center. Okay, hole number three is headwind, but that's okay. It's not that difficult. Full top, full right. You're going to want to make sure your ball guide line is centered onto this small little fairway patch as so. I would also suggest you pack your Guardian just in case you don't get as much distance on the drive as I did here. That shot is pulled 10% at max. You can see here I'm using no overpower, but keep in mind I do have an extra mile level 8, so if you have an extra mile level 7 or below and you're playing the shot, you might have to use a little bit of OP. If you're not comfortable with that, then you're going to want to go on the right-hand side and lay up, and you'll need to pack a big dog to try to make it to the green in 2. However, I did get plenty of distance on this drive, which is going to leave me with a long iron shot. Now, what I would suggest to you is I probably wouldn't play this rough bump if I was you, unless you are very comfortable with rough bumps. You could absolutely easily just go max backspin on the backbone and aim at the hole and just get this ball to lay up on the green, and maybe you'll get lucky for an albatross, although it will be difficult. Same thing with your Guardian. You're going to want to go max backspin and try to point that thing at the hole and get a drop. I decided to gamble a little bit and go for a rough bump. Now, you can see because of the headwind, I got the ball guideline through the pin. However, I do hit a great shot. So, with the shot being great, I can't really judge, what it would have looked like with a perfect shot. But either way, we're on the fairway, and obviously we're making that shot to move on to hole number 4. Okay, hole number 4 is the one that, if you've dropped everything so far, I really hope you're able to pick this one up because it will be a game changer. This is a tough hole in 1, but let's go here first. We're going to be going 5 bars of backspin with the backbone. We're going to play it no elevation, and we're going to play it at mid-distance. Now, I want you to notice how easy my ball guideline is going to be able to copy. First of all, blue ring at the rough line. So blue ring at the rough. Notice how I've got the ball guideline right here, right on the seam of the dark green patches. So where the dark green and the light green meet, it is right there in the middle, pointing at the hole. I need you to move this over a fraction to the left-hand side. Now also keep in mind, I have 4.5 mile per hour wind, which is as high as it gets on rookie. But again, notice right here, well, it's as high as it gets on rookie with the navigator. I need you to move this over just a fraction to the left-hand side, and I also want you to pull this with a slight 1159 pull angle, which means we are never going to let that arrow at the top there vibrate from north to right. That would be 1201, like reading a clock. We're going to make sure that when you pull our rings, that wind arrow is exactly north, like that, or it vibrates from north to north left. We will not want this thing moving from north to north right at all, because you will miss the shot to the right. So here is an 1159 pull angle, basically aiming directly at the hole, and we just miss it to the right-hand side, even with doing all that. So that's why I need you to move that over a fraction to the left. So long story short, to make it easy, 5 bars of backspin, blue ring at the rough, move it over a fraction to the left where I was, 1159 pull angle, and 0% at mid, and you're good to go. Okay, hole number 5. Again, not to say that any par 4 eagle is easy unless you drive to the green, but this is almost as easy as it gets. Here, because I have an extra mile 8, I'm using half a bar of backspin, 2 bars of side spin to the right. Now notice here that my target is barely onto the fairway, which means I'm going to have to use a little bit of overpower just to make sure we don't accidentally clip the rough. But you see here, this is not a lot of overpower. This is just very slight OP. We fire off a perfect ball, and this thing comes in basically exactly where we want it to, leaving us for a very short chip-in shot with our wedge. The wedge shot here, we played at 0% elevation at minimum distance. Pretty easy there, dead center for the eagle. Pick that one up on both accounts. Okay, hole number 6 is the one that's frustrating for me because 1, it's an easy eagle. 2, I think we should albatross this hole. I really do, and I'm very confident that a lot of people watching me are going to albatross. The only reason I didn't here have a chance at it, well, the best chance possible, is because I hit a great shot on both accounts. So I ended up going into the rough on both. So what do I want you to do? Big Topper is going to be able to get the most distance, I believe, unless you have like an extra mile 9. If that's the case, use that. But I want you to pull this at 20% elevation. Now you can do one of two things depending on how you feel your skill is with hitting into overpower with a big topper. So I pushed my target back up to max, as you're seeing right here, to get the most distance possible. What I would have rather have done, and I'm using quite a bit of overpower, but do not use full overpower, especially if you push back up to max, because you could easily miss that fairway and just go swimming right off the drive. So you don't want to head into the water. So, we need to take a look at that again just so you see. I push back up to max. I use half a ball of overpower. At least that's what I call it. So notice that half of my ball is cutting off that bottom target and half that target is still exposed. And look how close I come. Like that's a razor thin margin right there. If I would have used full overpower, I would have just completely gone over this cliff and went right into that water, but I didn't. So I end up in the rough, which is fine. You still have a really good chance to drop the albatross. It's just harder to hit perfect out of the rough. But if you don't want to try that, then just pull your rings at 20% and then take your overpower shot, because your overpower is going to be a heck of a lot more controlled needle since we're not at full distance. So anyways, here I was doing a set shot, just aiming at the pin, but great shot to the left. Not going to do me any good. I missed to the left. All right, still pick up an eagle though. Okay, this one is going to be hole number 7. You can use, honestly, pretty much almost whatever ball you want to, because we can get to the green. This is going to be a Titan with 6 top, couple right. Again, lower level clubs. You may want to stick with the Titan, but notice here I'm not using a ton of overpower. But, if you're playing with an extra mile 5, 6, you're going to use more overpower, which is normal, as we all did whenever we had those clubs. But here you can see we got plenty of distance, and we're going to be putting in for an eagle on a par 4. I guess that's probably as easy as an eagle on a par 4 you're going to get. Here's the same shot with the katana. So this is a power 2 ball, of course. This one I pulled my rings just because the wind was different. I don't know if you noticed that or not, but this is much more crosswind with tailwind. On the other account, I just did a set shot and took it. So that was a little weird. But regardless, we roll up onto the fringe, and again, we're just going to be taking this shot here to pick up an eagle. So all in all, hole number 7 gives you a great opportunity for an eagle. Now that's going to bring us on to hole number 8. Hole number 8, I did not put the graphic here on elevation, and there's a reason why. On my first account, I played it 30% at mid, and I missed significantly to the left-hand side of the cup. So I decided on this shot I was going to play 50% elevation, which is just a way to trick the system and make you pull more rings in the direction that you need. However, 50 was too much. 4 bars of backspin is good. So 4 bars of backspin with our blue ring right up there on the rough line, ball guideline aiming at the hole like that, that's good. Again, this is 50% elevation, so this is going to be a 5.9 ring pull. And honestly, at 50%, it's not too far off. So going in there and doing the numbers on the app, 40% would have been a better shot. I'm not sure if it would have been a hole-in-one, but it does take about half of a ring off, which obviously would get us closer to the pin for a hole-in-one. So I would try 40% elevation, and hopefully if you have multiple accounts, you can learn off your 40% shot as long as you hit a perfect ball, and you'll be able to dial in from there. Hole number 9, I do pick up the albatross here, which I was pretty surprised at. So this is, again, no graphic because we're getting basically straight tailwind. So I'm going to go ahead and try to clear the creek here. And this isn't something that I would normally do all the time, but with it being the final round in a 9-hole cup, why not? Because if I'm able to get the drive to go where I want it to, it's going to set me up for a thorn shot for an albatross. And anytime we can take a thorn shot for an albatross opportunity, I'm very happy with that. So we do power this ball up the fairway. As you can see here, we could have pushed it a little bit harder with more topspin. I only used a couple bars, But we could push that a little harder. We just don't want to push it too hard and go into the sand. But here this shot was played 10% at max. As you can see, I'm at max distance of my thorn here. And we know that because it says +4 under the little ball graphic there. Anytime you're in plus yards, you know, you're approaching max distance. So here we go with the backspin and the side spin shot. I've got my ball guideline bouncing into the hole. As I always say, it is very important when you take a backspin shot with the thorn, you have this thing going into the hole. All right, here it is, 10% at max. I really do hope you enjoyed the video. I hope that you hit the thumbs up button and like it. And if you'd like to support me, you know how. But most importantly of all, thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have an incredible round. Let me know how you do in the comments. Thanks, everybody.